Well, hello, aunties. I'm here with Amari, and I just thought I would come and have another chat with you guys about reborns. So, I know everything has been about silicones. So, I also want to talk about my reborns. So, I know it's a lot of new mommies out there, and forgive her, she is very stiff with her. She's as floppy with her tummy plate on. But I'm going to talk about a little bit about the hair care. I think often we forget at the end of the day, and I hate to use this word in my videos or just period when I'm referring to my babies, I hate to use the word dolls. So just for these purposes, I'm just going to have to say this. We do have to realize that they are technically dolls. So sometimes we do too much to them. Now, I've experienced having more hair that bleeds. And when I say bleeds, I'm not talking about blood. I'm talking about the dye color or the color of the hair gets on, the blankets and stuff when you wet it. You want to be very careful with that because you don't want to ruin your baby's paint job if it gets on the vinyl. If you don't get it off quickly enough, or sometimes you don't even have time, sometimes it immediately stains the vinyl. So what I've realized though is sometimes it doesn't even matter if it's good hair or cheap hair or what. Some hair that normally won't bleed will bleed if you put the wrong type of product in their hair. I prefer to use some. You just need to use just water. And it works just fine. Others, depending on the hair, you may need to use something else. And I use in my baby's hair so that it stay and the curls just last and it still have that sheen to it. I use fabric softener and water mix. Sometimes I put a tad bit of conditioner in there, but for the most part it's just water and fabric softener. When you go to using, now people use a detangler spray, but what I found with the detangler spray is that it actually makes the hair bleed. Now, maybe it's a possibility of the alcohol levels in it breaks down the dye in the mohair or something that makes it bleed. But I noticed when I use my fabric softener and water, it doesn't bleed. But when I use I just noticed that she has lightly painted hair a little bit around her edges a little bit. But I noticed when you use the tangler spray on the same doll head that didn't bleed when I used it in something else, it made it bleed. And that was Johnson & Johnson tangler spray that I used mixed with water. So sometimes that can play a part in the it will play a part in the dye leaking. So I'm just gonna give her a bottle. I'm feeding, taking my time and feeding all the babies, and she loves to get her baba. She has to close her eyes because it's so good, mommy. It's so good, mommy. It's so good to the baby. Yes, it is. I really loves it. So mommy sneak a little bit of flakes of cereal in there too. Gives her a fat chunk of monka baby. So yeah, and also if you guys have not invested in the no holds nipples, perfect, best ever thing ever. Definitely love those. I love them because you can still see the milk flowing through the nipple. You don't have to block it off like this particular bottle. I'll show you guys. It's actually blocked off with the cap, so there's no milk going through. But being that I'm using it with the Reborn, you're not going to really see the nipple anyway, so it doesn't matter. As long as the milk flows, down to the top cap. it gives it more of a realistic, you know, look. And sometimes, you know, you just pull it to the side. And if you want to, you can show a little bit of the nipple like that. But when I'm feeding my silicone babies, or, you know, a baby that's going in the mouth, I like to be able to show the milk going down in the nipple, and but it doesn't come out in their mouth or run on them. You know, eventually, I don't know, I'm just bad at making the bottles. Mine always tend to leak at some point, so the no-hose nipple was really perfect for that. Okay, let me burp her. The other thing is, as much as I love her with her tummy plate on, I have to tell you guys, unfortunately, she is not floppy with it like she is. If I take it off, her head will fall. And I'm going to take it off just so you guys can see. Okay? I love seeing the diaper booty too. So we're going to take this off. So we put on her tummy. It's like, no, I hate taking it off. I'll put it back on after the camera is off though. So it's just as simple as untying it. I tied this one pretty tight around the neck area. And I'm telling you guys, her tummy plate do not move at all with the way I have it tied so tightly. And I'm just going to slide it off. Place it over here. And because she's fully dressed, you guys, it doesn't matter. I can still pose her like that and you should see a diaper butt. But now, can't you see how her head now, it falls when I get ready to pick her up, you know? And so, you see how much of a difference that made? Now she's all, she's so cuddly now, like it's, and this is how I like my babies. They have to fall like this. Like when I'm holding them, they have to fall like this. There's no way I can bond. It's like I have a doll if it doesn't move like a baby. And I know it is a doll, but I want it to be as realistic as possible to give me that mommy feel. And I can cuddle her. She will flop. So I love when, you know, you get ready to pick them up and it's like, see that head's moving back. You gotta support that head. Yeah. Otherwise it's gonna fall back. And I love that. You know, that's the way it should be. You gotta be able to hold back here. You know, and there we have it. She's super, super. And I mean, see how even when she get ready to lay, it just looks so realistic to me. Just the same as how I like the hair to be a little messed up in the back. It just looks like a real baby. And I really, really love that. And I love the little butt to be sticking up in the air. And sometimes I like to show a little bit of the diaper so that she looks realistic as possible. But yeah, that is it. So yeah, try not to do too much with your dolls so that they can last a very long time. Try not to use all different types of products. And when you use like sprays for the baby smell, make sure you spray it on the clothing, let it dry out, and then put it on the baby, because those alcohols and chemicals in it may do something to the paint. You don't want to ruin these type dolls. They cost way too much money. And so, yeah. But I have to be so super honest with you guys. I haven't bonded with the baby like this in so long. I've bonded with other babies, but I'm telling you, I'm so in love with this baby right here. Like, she is the next best thing to Zoe. Like, in fact, I don't know, they may be on the same page almost. Well, it's a different Swizoid because she's silicone and there's so much more to her, but then there's a lot to her because she's an ethnic baby and she's about my color. And I know sometimes her coloring comes across as if her color is the same all the way through, but it's not. You can see, you can actually see now. I have the window open a little bit, and you can see that her feet, and I love the way she did her feet. It's actually really, it's lighter than the rest of her foot, and it's very realistic. And she gets a little dark around the ankles, and her shading is different. It's not boom shaded. It's like just gradually lighter, just like with my hand. Like here, you can see inside my arm, it's lighter. But like on this side, it's all one color. But like here, you can see I'm lighter in the inside of my arm than on the outside of my arm. And that's, you know, typically how it is. And of course, my hands get lighter. And so that's what I love about her. But guys, this is another long video. I don't know how I get so long into videos, but yeah, so there's my baby girl, and she's, like I said, she's super lovely without her belly plate. So the tummy plate is mostly pictures and when I just have her just sitting. But when I really want to cuddle with her, belly plate must come off to really get that all feeling. Oh, sweetie. So yeah, and I like her hair a little bit messy. However, there's parts of her hair that I have to have right, which is like this part of the banging part. And yeah. So yeah, that is Amari. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Oh, wait. One other last thing. I don't know how it'll affect the vinyl, but I do want to say to new mommies, it's something I wouldn't do, but I see other people doing it, and that's okay because that's their dolls and their preference, and it's their money. But using wipes on these babies, I just wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't even do nothing more than a little bit of water if you have to use a damp cloth to wipe something off. Just straight water. I would not use wipes and stuff because a lot of times they have alcohol in the product, and I don't know if it'll affect their matting over time and make them become shiny or what. So I just wouldn't do all that extra stuff. I don't powder my Reborns because they're not silicone and they don't need to be powdered. And I know some people powder them for the smell, but if you want to get the smell, put it on their cloth, in their diaper, or, you know, put the wafers on them or inside them. I will often put wafers inside their cloth. But yeah, just don't do that. But she is definitely my all-time favorite baby. And she does remind me of Cameron. I do, and you guys know how much I loved Cameron. She does remind me of Cameron a lot. But, like I said, when it kind of goes back to the bonding thing, sometimes it can be one little thing that I don't like about a particular doll or something that will throw me off, and it'll bother me and bother me and bother me. And when I find one that I really, really like, that's really, really perfect, I try to hold on to them. So that is the case with this little girl. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.